You're listening to the Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast, brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technological advanced silhouette decoys on the market, and Vortex Canada, the force of optics.
Hey, everybody. Unfortunately, you're hearing my voice again, which means Damien is away. But the good news is we've got Kelley Brown here from Bird God Waterfowl. So to start things off first, we've got Ryan coming out of Nova Scotia. We've got Phil coming from, well, he's between two houses right now.
Still in the Schwa. We
got Mark Vitch coming from somewhere near Ottawa, and we've got Kelley Brown coming all the way from California. Kelley, good to have you on again. We've been trying this for a few times now, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, and I appreciate it though. You guys, hopefully this one works out. I know we had some technical difficulties a couple weeks ago, and then just a little playing tag with each other. So glad to be here and finally get this going.
Yeah.
For the record, Kelley said he would only come on if we got rid of Damien, so we happily obliged to his request.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to say anything.
Well, and more importantly, Kelley can understand all of us.
Yeah. So Kelley, for people who don't know, what is Bird Dog Waterfowl? And no, for people that have watched all of our other episodes, it's not Bird Dog whiskey.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had that conversation too. Bird Dog Waterfowl is a I'd say lifestyle apparel brand that started by accident. You can say I started back in 2016, started Bird Dog Waterfowl as just for myself, basically, because the style of hats mainly and the style of outdoor waterfowl gear wasn't really like resonating with me, and where I'm from in California, and I couldn't find really what I wanted, so I just started said, you know what, I'm gonna do it myself, and started making stuff just for myself, not for sale, and wearing it. And the feedback I got on it I was pretty amazed. So people were asking, where can I buy this? And I was like, well, you really can't, because it's for me. But kind of rolled with that, and then created a social media, and was like, you know what, I'll open it up to the public and see if, what the feedback is. And it's been that ever since, and just going, and started adding new products and this and that, a team, and it's turned into an actual brand now. So with the whole, got the LLC and trademark and all that stuff, and it's, here we are 5.5 years later now. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah, one of the products that I've seen on your site, and then for anyone that's listening, it's going to sound to the guys that we're talking here today kind of like we've already talked about this, but 3 weeks ago we actually did half an episode, and then the internet died on us. So we're going to try and revisit some of those topics. But one of the Bird Dog Waterfowl products that interests me the most was your Tarsal Bands that you can make for your dogs, and with the dog's name on it or stuff like that. That was kind of a neat little feature.
Yeah, that's a fairly recent endeavor, and we're trying to still work it out to where we can do the turnaround faster on them. But it's such a cool thing to be able to do replica bands of, say, someone shot a bird and they want to carry that band with them on themselves, but say they're getting a mount done, and we're able to replicate the band for them, so they can have basically the same band on the mount, so you don't lose that like aesthetic of it, as well as we put them on the dog collars. We do the custom dog collars, put your dog's name, phone number. It's kind of a cool like little offshoot of a regular dog tag kind of thing, or throw it on your lanyard. it's a pretty cool deal, and it seems to be pretty popular in the hunting community.
Yeah, that's good. So we've talked about that you're from California. As Phil brought up the last time, and I just learned this, the most southern part of Ontario is actually further south than the northern part of California. And when Phil was telling me about that and I was hearing that, I was thinking, like, whenever I think of California, I think of like close to the Texas border, so it's hot there all the time. But you guys actually have quite the varied weather patterns up there, and which brings in a lot of different species of ducks there. How is duck hunting over in California?
It sucks. It's horrible. You don't ever want to go.
Same with Ontario. No one come here to know.
You need a little geography lesson there, Dave.
Just what's that?
You need a little geography lesson here.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it now.
I need it.
So there's Southern California.
Yeah.
There's Arizona. There's New Mexico, and then there's Texas. California nowhere near Texas, but.
Oh, I meant Mexico. Sorry, whatever. Fuck.
There's also a Nevada in there, I believe.
Yeah. We just lost all 3 of our Texas listeners like that.
Yeah. Did I say Texas? Sorry, guys. I was talking about like the southern
Arizona. But yeah, you have Nevada, Arizona on the southern eastern border up there, and then Nevada all the way up to Idaho and Oregon. But yeah, our climate, I mean, California is so diverse in its ecosystem, and what you're thinking about is in your mind is more of a Southern California kind of thing, where it's a high desert kind of area and stuff. But yeah, that was news to me that the most northern part of California was north of the most south part of Ontario. But I mean, in the summer it's hot basically pretty much all over and dry, and we touched on it before the show about we have fires, and drought right now is a huge factor. Water in these western states is a huge deal right now. But in your hunting season and winter wise, Northern California is going to be it's going to be cold. I mean, we get snow up there, and to the east we have the Sierras, and so what you're thinking in your mind is more probably the typical South, where you're not getting that snow and everything, which really brings down. We have our flyway, the Pacific Flyways, host to so many species of birds, and that's what makes California like pretty unique in itself, is that the species of geese and birds we have coming, because they're coming from, I mean, all the way from Russia, Alaska, and the Western Canada up there. So, I mean, the diversity of divers on the coast, you got your sea ducks, and then your puddle ducks, and I mean, every type of goose you could probably think of almost come down to at least a part of California. I'm not saying they go all the way down. I think lately, generally in the past years, I mean, we're central, like north central California, and that's probably about as far down as they like to go now. It feels like in just the recent years with the migration patterns have been, from what I've seen personally.
I got a 2-part question for you, Kelley.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of the state of California, where do you live? Like, what's it like around there, like population wise and hunting property wise, and like how far on average do you have to travel to hunt, whether it be a field or water or whatever the case may be?
Okay, so me personally, in the area I'm at is I don't know if you're familiar with San Jose, but I mean, if you know where San Francisco is, I'm about an hour, a little over an hour south.
I can Google it.
Yeah.
San Jose is where the Sharks play.
Yeah, that's true. Hockey team. There you go. So I call it the central. it's not northern California, but it's not southern. It's in the Monterey Bay, San Francisco Bay area. And I live in, so my town right now that I grew up in is, when I was born, it was about 20,000 people, and everything's growing right now at the rate of, it's just becoming ridiculous. And we got probably about close to 70,000 people in my town, but it's a small town. It used to be more of a small town feel and everything, where, you have your kind of suburb area and stuff in town, but everything on the outskirts is more rural. But there is like a metropolitan area 45 minutes away where it's like San Jose with the big buildings, and I try to stay away from there as much as I can. Hunting wise, dove season is starting in 2 weeks here, and we literally go hunt 5 minutes down the road at my buddy's place or around here. So the opportunity to shoot on private land around here is just minutes away. Duck hunting and waterfowl, the closest I can go to travel for public land is about 45 minute drive. And that's really nothing in the morning when you're getting up. And so we have a lot of land. It's not this stereotypical California where you think of palm trees and people and cars everywhere. The majority of California is agriculture and rural area.
Nice. Well, here's another stat for David. That the population of California is higher than the population of Canada.
Wow.
How many waterfowlers do you think are in California versus waterfowlers in Canada? It might be close.
It might be close, actually. From what my experience with knowing about Canada hunters, I know that a lot of the hunters in Canada are like, they travel to Canada to hunt. So I don't know your resident population numbers, but here I know for a fact that in the United States, California is, if not the highest hunting license sales in the country. But that has to do with our population as well, because obviously we have a couple million. I don't even know the number of the population in California anymore, but it's pretty staggering just because you have these big, large cities. But once you get out of those, you're more spread out, open land, and the kind of area where I'm kind of talking about.
Are you finding more city people that were against hunting or not thinking of hunting are now starting to get into it because they want to know where their food is sourced, or they want to be able to, with some of these shows like The Walking Dead, they want to be able to source their own food in case something like a zombie attack bullshit happens? Are you finding that you're getting more hunters out because of that shit, or?
I would say definitely in the last year, but with the COVID stuff, I know that the numbers of sales were up. I honestly, in my personal experience though, I haven't really seen like a dramatic increase or anything like that. Waterfowling here is so like specific to like it's a very difficult thing to do if you don't know how to do it. You probably see that more with like maybe a deer hunter or someone who's getting into hunting boars or something like that. But waterfowl is like so specific in itself, where there's so many, the laws, the rules, the ways to get on access the land here, the ways to be able to even to buying decoys, learning to call. There's just so much money involved in it that it kind of probably deters a lot of the newer people from trying it. And I'm not saying that it completely does, but it's probably something that you have to kind of know someone to really get into it. It's not something you just kind of pick up on yourself.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, for the state of California, you guys are non-toxic shot for everything, if that's not correct, right?
Yeah, absolutely everything now, which is a pain. I'll tell you what, today, I mean, I ordered shotgun shells months ago. They came, I barely got them yesterday. We're not allowed to just order them online and have them shipped to your house. You have to go through a federal firearms license dealer. And now we have a background check every time you buy even just a box of shells. You have to pay $1 to the state to run some 2-minute background check real quick. And the way you get in that system is you have to either have a hunting license, or you have to have bought a shotgun or a rifle, a long gun since 2014 and have it registered in your name. There's so many hoops to jump through. It's unbelievable. And then the lack of ammunition to begin with is pretty crazy. So, I mean, I luckily enough have like a few boxes left of steel 7-shot for shooting the doves, the upland. But I mean, it's a real hassle.
Have you guys been seeing any of that bio ammo coming out, or you even know what I'm talking about? So we got approached by a company to check out this new ammo coming to Canada called bio ammo, and it's like the casing dissolves. It's like a biodegradable ammo, and I was like, oh, this might be something that's coming to the like. It kind of seemed almost when I first heard about it, like it was going back in time, because there used to be, like, my grandpa gave me a box of paper shells, and I'm like, it must be just like a paper shell that they're kind of making again. But apparently, like, a lot of the stuff that they're making is biodegradable, and I had some reservations about it, but I haven't fully seen it or studied it. But to me, like Challenge Ammunition came out with like a bright orange hull so that people can easily identify them and pick them up and stop leaving their goddamn garbage out there. But now we're going to, like, if we go to the bio ammo, if even a part of it's not biodegradable, it might breed complacency. I don't know. So I just wasn't sure if you guys had seen it or been dealing with it yet.
Now that you mentioned it, is so funny because I went in, I bought my license today for upland and duck and everything, but went into the sporting goods here, and I saw 2 boxes and it said bio ammo on it, and I was like, what is that? But it was lead. So it wasn't non-toxic. So that was the weird thing, because it dissolves and stuff, but our shot cannot be lead here, because they the condor, or basically any kind of scavenger, if you shoot and cripple a bird and then it goes and dies somewhere, and then it's lead poisoning, I guess, is what they're worried about. And so everything you hunt with here has to be non-toxic, which, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Did we just lose Ryan?
Yeah, I got some stats for
he's
you.
relocating.
Oh, okay.
I
Go
found
ahead
some
with your stats there, bitch.
So California had 49,000 duck hunting or waterfowl hunting licenses sold last year. You guys are number 1 in the country for
Number
ducks
1,
per hunter,
yeah.
for ducks per hunter. Not number 1 in licenses sold. You're number 1 in ducks per hunter. You're the highest, so it's apparently the best place to hunt in the States for waterfowl, because you're averaging 21.
No.
Quit it! You're screwing up. You're screwing shit up for Kelley.
21 ducks per hunter. No one is close to that. The next closest I could find was 15.
21 per season?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty low.
That's very low.
A lot of weekend warriors.
Average.
Average. Yeah, average.
But Canada sells around 200,000 permits total for the whole country. So, yeah,
is that including the Americans that come up?
200,000 migratory bird permits sold in Canada.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
I wonder how many of that is Americans.
Oh, it's a good chunk out west, but I wouldn't say it's a good chunk, but I would say it's like 10 to 15,000. I don't think it's more than that, because you got to think an amount of people that would have to come up across the border and to fit them into hunts up here, like the amount of guides you'd have to have, and the amount of, like, I'd say it's probably no more than 10 to 15,000 permits for the States.
I think there's more guides than you think. Like, every time I turn and look, there's more and more guides popping up, and
I
Like
agree.
you look at Mitchell's Bay, and then we've got a couple here, and then look at all the ones in Saskatchewan. And I think there's a large number of guides up here. And now that the border's back open, hopefully they get a little bit more success with the Americans coming up. Right. So but,
it's a one-way border at the current state.
yeah. I'd like to get down and get some stuff, but
Like Bird Dog whiskey.
maybe.
So you can go in, but you guys can't come to the US.
You guys can come here, but we can't go there.
But we can't go
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
The peas cannot touch the carrots.
Gotcha.
But if you're looking to come to Canada and you want to fill your truck with some bird dog, you could make a few close friends up here, I think.
The boys
Yeah.
will pay the duty.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
You want
So-
to come shoot Canada's in Southern Ontario, Kelley?
Yeah.
There would be a spare bed for you
All right.
and a
So-
couple
I
dozen
love-
birds.
When we
I love
talk
that
about
you-
hunting in California there, are we talking like, is there flooded timber, or is it like layout boats, or what kind of is the majority hunting that you do? Is it like field and layout blinds like we have around here, or what?
Oh man, you can use your imagination. I mean, every type of hunting that you think we probably have here, just because the diversity of the habitats. You have easily really great dry field hunting because we have fields. I'd say probably in the northern part of California, the major number one type of hunting is rice hunting over rice. So they'll flood up these rice paddies and fields, and a lot of people hunt over rice. But you have definitely dry fields. You have definitely marsh style hunting, where it's basically used to be natural marshland, but I mean now it gets flooded up. That's typically what you're going to see is this kind of like low flooded, maybe ankle to waist, even deeper in some spots, but kind of marshland. We have the coast, obviously, so you have the Brant hunting and Scoter. You can maybe get a Harlequin or something like that over there. The timber is not, I wouldn't say, comparable to Arkansas or somewhere in the South like that, where those big huge timber areas, but flooded trees is a common thing as well. So I mean, it gives you that kind of sense. You're kind of hunting timber. I kind of like that too. Hunting river kind of style, where a lot of trees and small skinny kind of water, stuff like that, where the mallards just kind of really want in, and makes it a lot more intimate. But man, really, you can use your imagination. We have the Delta, these huge, we call it the Delta. I mean, it's this huge waterway that feeds from the Pacific into freshwater kind of estuaries, where I mean you have huge open water, where you can basically take kayak out and do kind of layout diver hunts. And so I mean it's so diverse, and everyone here has their own kind of style too. So I mean, because you have your diver hunters, you have your guys who are real, just in like pintail. We only want pintail. And so it gives you an opportunity to become who you want to be as a hunter, and hunt and target the species you really want to target yourself, and focus on that.
Hey, Dave, let
Yeah.
Ryan in.
Let Ryan in. One job.
I don't have the participants window up.
Fucking amateur hour.
Hey, this is
Where's
my
Damien?
second time hosting you.
Where the hell is
fuckers.
Damien?
60
Oh, you
something
do?
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I've practiced hard, and I've been sitting on the bench for all these weeks and just waiting for my turn, and I fucked it up the second time through. So sorry about that, boys. Fuck, put me back on the bench. But
We're
Welcome
still
back,
doing
Ryan.
better than the first.
Good to be back, boys.
Oh,
Cricket
Oh,
free.
good.
Cricket free. I got a
Do you know how many
Labrador.
people messaged me asking what the fuck the cricket was about? They're like, who had the cricket? And I'm like, oh man, it's a guessing game. Like, you figure it out, right?
Oh,
But-
that was a good idea.
Yeah. So
I just thought every time we told a lame joke, you just put it in there with like a mixer or something.
just a cricket.
Just cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket.
That's good. Well, so Kelley, what else? What else is going on in California coming up? You've got Dove opener coming. How long
got
until your
Dove.
actual? What's that?
Oh yeah, we got Dove on the 1st of September.
And then how long
I don't
until
think-
your duck opener?
Here, so we have a couple zones, which are the state split up into a few zones. So the northeastern zone is a smaller zone, and that runs off of basically Oregon's kind of season. So that will open up on the 2nd of October. And then the main area of California, which is the balance of state, and that's where we're located, that opens up 3 weeks after that. So it's I'd say around the 3rd week of October. I haven't really looked at the exact date because right now I'm going up to Oregon on the 2nd of October, and that's where I'll kick off my season.
Yeah.
And then so we start around the end of October and run concurrent till the 31st of January. No
Yeah.
splits. I think it's a 107-day season.
Yeah, it's like 105 or 107 is the max, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we run here in southern, like the southern, like I think what Ontario's divided what, 4?
Yep.
Southern, central, northern, Hudson or some shit. We like all of us hunt for the most part southern Ontario, except Ryan. He's in a completely different part of
I mix between the two.
and you're on the border between southern and central. But yeah, like we're the max here in southern Ontario, 105, 107 days, whatever it is.
Yeah. And they kind of just in the past 2 years opened it up. They used to close it right before the 31st of January, but they opened something up and got rid of something else to make the dates work. And so there was been a little tweak on the seasons, but it's actually pretty cool because you can actually hunt up until the actual 31st of January now. And then we have like you don't want to, like, it's a late season goose. It's all the white fronted and snow geese. And that's only like a 5-day season in February. And then that's pretty much the end of it. We got like a youth hunt or a veterans hunt. They just started doing a veterans hunt after post season. So that's good for, service members and stuff, and get out and get some birds and everything. Early season, we have this year, it runs concurrent. We have early season Canada goose, and that runs only like 5 days as well. And that's running concurrent with the Oregon season. So I won't be able to do the early goose, but probably shoot some honkers in Oregon anyway. So
Does your early goose have a higher bag limit?
yeah, I think it's 10 or 15. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. It's a higher bag limit than the regular season. Yeah. But they're all resident. So you're shooting golf course geese basically.
Yeah, that's the exact same, especially like where I am here. Like, so I live pretty much right on the north shore of Lake Ontario, and I'm a half hour east of Toronto. So like there's Toronto itself, and then it's just like a complete utter blur of fucking towns and cities to the east of it and west, and then to the north. It's just, you think it was just one big massive city, for lack of a better term. But out to the east of where I am, so Lake Ontario never freezes because it's such a massive body of water. It never freezes.
Right.
And so beside Toronto, the next town to the east is Pickering. Pickering has a nuclear power plant. And then I'm in Oshawa, so I'm like 3 more towns over. And then the next town beside me is Curtis, which is part of like Clarington Township. They've got a nuclear power plant as well. So they also have a warm water discharge. So like all these like resident birds, again, like just like what you guys experienced, they just stack up and like they do two things. They feed and they fuck.
Yeah.
They never migrate a day in their life. And we've got so much agriculture to the east of Toronto. Like as you go further east, like kind of how far these towns develop from the shoreline northward diminishes, and pretty much past me is all just farm. So like these birds, they just live, like they never migrate. They go from water to food, water to food.
Yeah. I mean,
like our early season and late season is just a gong show. Like your 10 birds a day, like it's nothing to go out there and smack 40, 50, 60 birds.
Yeah, same here. I mean, these birds that we're shooting in early season, these geese, I mean, I think the furthest they fly in a day is probably 5 miles max. You know, they're just skirting. All they're doing is leaving a roost, which is a protected county park or something, and then flying to a agriculture field, eating whatever is cut down, and then getting on water and then flying back. I mean, literally you can watch, I mean, their routine every day.
It was funny, like I don't know how long ago, 7 years ago, I was doing a late season goose hunt. So we've got our regular season for duck and geese, and then there's like an early week for like your resident geese where they bump the limit to 10. And then we've got a late season where they bump the limit to 10 as well for these Canadas. And I was out hunting with my dad and a buddy, and we shot our 30 that morning, but I actually shot one bird that was banded at the Pickering nuke plant. So we ended up I got that band. I got a minor band that day, and my buddy got one from James Bay. But I'm like, oh, it's awesome. We got some bands. I go home. I check the stats on the one regular band I shot. I'm like, you were banded at the nuke plant. I'm like, I can like stand on the roof of my truck in the field that I am, and I can see the nuke plant. You've never migrated a day in your life.
Yeah. I hear you. You got a minor though, huh?
That I did.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Right on. Yeah. I bet you there's no one in California that's seen one.
Yeah, it would have to be way off track.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah.
Same thing on my way. There, you shoot a miner out on the East Coast. That thing got lost big time.
Yeah.
Do they band in your area?
In California?
In your area in general, and like within your locale, like your hunting zone?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say ish kind of. I mean, they keep it very discreet and everything, but I know within a 2-hour radius, they're doing a pretty heavy banding projects. They're targeting a lot of pintail. They target pintail mostly, but whatever gets captured gets banded basically. And we have a huge banding program in California. Actually, the California Waterfowl Association is a big advocate with the whole banding. So we got lots of bands, and I'm pretty sure we shoot quite a bit compared to, I mean, other places that don't really have those banding programs in place anymore. Ours is like, I would say California is probably one of the forefront in the whole banding in the States, at least in that respect.
A few hunters up here, as soon as they hear that, they'll hop in their truck and head right to California.
Yeah, we'll get that call like, hey, I just got access to a place right beside us, a place that they banded. We should go. And it's like, just to get a band from like 5 feet away. Like, what the fuck? So
yeah. Last year, I shot one. Last year, I shot a gadwall in Oregon, and after you pull up the certificate and everything, I shot him. I mean, he was banded probably 15 miles away from where I shot him, and it was in August. He was banded, and I shot him in October. So yeah. I mean, I didn't know about it. I didn't know, but I mean,
the one thing I do now when someone shoots a band in the group that we're in, you don't fucking post or tell anybody about it for 2 weeks, because if you do, then within those next 2 weeks, the place is just plastered with people. Like,
oh yeah,
fuck.
Oh, it's funny. A number of years ago, my buddy shot I can't remember if it was a green wing or a blue wing, but we hunted this like controlled lake where they have regulated blinds and whatnot on this particular lake, and you can only hunt it certain days of the week. He shot this teal opening morning, and he shot it so fast the info wasn't even on the website yet. Like that band, that band couldn't have been any shinier.
They didn't even upload it, huh?
Yeah,
I shot a duck, a mallard drake in 2016 that I banded 5 weeks before.
Wow. Is it the biologist that's on the certificate, or is it your name on the certificate?
No, it's the main guy who was running the banding operation at the time. It was all under his name, but there was a couple of volunteers, me and another couple of people, and then the we'll call M&R here. I don't know what you call your guys, but our M&R employees, the scientists, were all there with us, and we banded one night. We banded 100 and some odd birds, and that was the night I helped out. And 5 weeks later, in another place about 30, we'll say 20 miles from where that banding happened, I shot this mallard, and it was one of the ones I had banded.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I know guys here that will shoot bands and they won't even report them or say anything till the end of the season. Yeah, and then they'll wait till the end just to. I mean, I don't know if it's superstition or they don't want anyone to know. But one of the coolest one that I shot that I'm pretty proud of, that's pretty interesting, is I shot a green-winged teal like 2 seasons ago, and it was on the end of January. So I mean, we're like days away from the end of the season, and I shot a green-winged teal, and it was in a group, and I just picked out the drake out it, and he was like in the back. I shot him, and it was just a crappy day. Like that was the only real group that came in. I was hunting with a guy I worked with and at his private club, and he had his dog, so I was just kind of his guest along, and he told me shoot it. I shot it. Dog went out and got it and brought it back, and he just grabbed it, and he's like, here you go. I was like, just throw it in your bag. And so he just put it in his bag, didn't look at the bird. I mean, it's like a teal is teal here, you know. They're great tasting birds, but it's just like, okay, like nothing real special.
They're just appetizers.
Yeah. So he threw it in his bag. We went to a different spot on his land and hunted. Neither of us shot anything else. The rest of the day was like, ended up being one of those weird January days. And we were leaving, get to his trailer, and I was packing up and everything, and he's like, hey, your bird. And I said, nah, just keep it, man. I'm good. And he's like, no. And so he just grabs it out of the bag and throws it to me. So I took it and I threw it in the back of my my truck, like just to drive home. And it's a 45-minute drive. So I drive home. I get home, I'm emptying my gear and stuff, and the duck's still there. And I get in the house, take a shower, do this stuff. I was like, oh, I'll go out and clean that bird. I go out and pull it out, and I'm like, look, my heart just like stopped. I was like, what the heck? And I immediately texted him. I thought he was playing a joke on me or something, like he slipped it on there just to see how long it'd take me to realize it. And I called him, and I was like, what the heck, man? And he's like, what? And I was all, he had to go to work. So he's like, what? I'm at work. And I was all, dude, that bird is banded. He's like, no. So I sent him a pic, and it had one of those old like a vise.
Oh, somebody's calling. No, I think somebody called on his phone. Yeah,
popular guy.
It had one of those old Avise bands on it, where it's like.
Wow.
So I looked it up, and it was banded in Pilot Station, Alaska. Well, I don't know.
Nice.
Like I had to look it up. It's like right on the Russia Alaska border, basically, way up there. It was too young to fly, but I found out that they use if they're targeting certain species but they capture, they'll use old stock of bands. So it wasn't, the bird was young. I was like, this is an old bird, because they stopped using those. I looked it up, and those are like at least in the late 90s, early 2000s. So but it ended up being like old stock band that they use on birds that they really don't target, but they still put into the system, but it was still pretty cool. Cause I mean, it was a couple thousand miles away. So from, I mean, that bird a couple of years made a pretty big trip, so.
That's like the coolest. I think the Pacific Flyway is the coolest for all the migration because you get such a big swing in like area, right? Like you get like stuff coming across from Russia. I remember in an issue of Wildfowl, somebody in California, I think, had shot a pintail, but it was banded in Hawaii. So like that trek, like that's just, it's so cool, man. The diversity of for the bands you get from there.
Oh yeah. I've seen snow geese with Russia bands. I've seen that in our flyway. Someone has shot a bird that was banded in Japan.
Wow.
In the Pacific Flyway. I haven't heard of why, but I mean, I can honestly believe it. I mean, all those birds from up there, they'll cut the corner they'll fly across the Pacific Ocean from Alaska to Washington, Oregon area. Like they'll cut that whole. So I mean, they're flying across the whole Pacific Ocean. Basically, they're not afraid.
Yeah. Do you, Kelley, just kind of get off the bands, but on the flyway still, like, you guys shoot a lot of Euros through there? Like, I know you guys got a heavy widgeon population, but do you guys see the odd Euro come through too?
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming more increasingly apparent. I don't know if it's because of, I heard someone talking about it recently too, but it's become more prevalent in the more recent years. It's becoming almost more like a common thing than just like this rarity. I don't know if there's like they must be breeding on this side of the continent, right? Now, and that's what I think that's what they were talking about, is that it's more of a breeding thing now, that they're kind of moved into this area, so it's become more prevalent as opposed to them just actually migrating from that area. I think there's like a breeding population now almost. But yeah, we got lots of widgeon, lots of pintail, lots of spoonies, lots of mallards. I mean, the variety is definitely there.
So we're like a month out from our season here. Have you guys started to notice that all those people you haven't talked to since January are starting to call you again, or what?
I got a text from Sal Goodman last night, and I know he listens to this, and I chewed him like, wow, I knew I was going to hear from you eventually, Sal. Yeah. Goes radio silence for 8 months of the year, and then, oh, hey, how's it going? How you doing?
Hey, best friend.
We should have some pints and maybe do some trap shooting together. Hey, what are you up to?
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're up to, Sal. I'll fall for it. Don't worry.
Is it almost hunting season?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably a common thing for you too, isn't it, Kelley?
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely is.
Yeah.
I think for everyone, I mean, that's a going joke, like you're like, oh, here comes the phone calls.
But it's one of those jokes that's just so fucking true that,
sorry.
No problem.
Oh, good, man.
It's just one of those jokes that, like, it's absolutely true that there's guys that do that. So that's the best kind of humor I find.
It's funny though, because I have that like group of buddies that like the only time we talk is during duck season.
Yeah.
Like 4 months of the year is the only time we speak, and we trade hunts religiously, so it's not an issue. But yeah, you do get those handful like, hey, you've been scouting, you got some birds. How's your early season looking? I'm like, yeah, I got nothing. I've got no ammo. I got no fields. I don't know, dude. Hey, do you have anything?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both. I mean, we have. I know exactly what you're saying. There's the people that you don't talk to that really like that hit you up and are like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, hey. But I also do have this, a group of people that we don't talk really, except during duck season. And I mean, everyone's okay with it. We're okay with sharing information, and we're in that sense. I mean, it's not like we just don't talk or have it, but I think our common interest is hunting, so I mean, we just keep it at that. But the other guys, those guys can suck it.
For the record, Sal isn't that guy. He's a good dude. It's just we met hunting, so that's our common denominator. So I don't even know if the guy likes hockey or baseball or football or anything, but yeah, I have a pretty small core group of guys I hunt with religiously that we've grown up together, and I keep it at that. But there's a couple guys I like Sal that I like to hunt with, and they're good dudes. So luckily, I have known those guys, especially when I lived in Ontario, that the phone only rings once a year. But yeah, just like Damien says, surround yourself with good people. So
yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, there's like this thing going around now, and it says like it's a picture of a phone, like a meme, and it says that guy that only calls during duck season or whatever on, and it like your phone is ringing, you know, and
yeah, it's got the red and the green.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I've noticed about Bird Dog Waterfowl is your social media, like the pictures you take and the stories that you have are just they're pretty great. Like you do a good job of that.
Thank you.
How much work do you actually put into that, or is that just something like it just turns out?
Well, I mean, now it's been 5.5 years since I started the Instagram in 2016 in April. So it's become kind of a normal routine and everything now. I don't take all the credit at all, because I sponsor a great team of guys that that are photographers and creative. I have a whole creative team that basically is content creators, and also field guys that are out there that support the brand and push the product, and then we call it the elite team, I guess, but it's just like the guys that it's basically the core group of guys that have really invested into the, not monetarily, but invested into the company and really drive and promote the brand, and they're great at killing ducks and stuff like that, too. But the content and everything is a lot of it is from the creative team. I have my own private page with these guys and girls that provide content, and everyone shares their own information. Everyone kind of gives tips to each other, and it's a good little community that they feed off each other. And I do some of the content as well, and the product. And what people don't really realize is that this is pretty much like the back end is like pretty much a one-man show, from orders to website design to the whole social media aspect of it. I'm sitting there doing it basically. So don't expect it to be like a big warehouse of giant deal. This is basically, I literally created this from a hole in the wall office and built it from there. It's grown a lot, but a lot. But yeah, it started out just a couple $100 and Instagram page, I guess.
And do you box everything up and ship it all yourself?
Yeah.
And how have you done many orders into Canada? Issues with that?
You know what? I had a huge issue when I was using UPS, and that is horrible, man. It was such a nightmare. People just wanted, but the United States Postal Service, I have not had any problems, and they've gotten the orders. It usually says like 15 to 20 days for delivery. And it's been getting there within a week almost, it seems like. So I've stuck with that. But man, what a nightmare that was before, because they're trying to charge these taxes to the recipient or something.
Brokerage fee and 13% plus the 26 for the person. And
welcome to our
nickel and dime you to fucking death.
Yeah.
Welcome to our lives.
And on top of that,
I've sent shit back. Something I had ordered from a company, and I didn't know, and they used UPS, and it got to my door, and the guy's like, yeah, there's brokerage fee of $150 on a $250 item. I'm like, yeah, you can just take that.
Well, it's funny you say that. I ordered a decoy bag, either one or two bags from a company from the States. and I think the bags were worth like 54 or 56 bucks US, and UPS wanted to charge me that just in brokerage, and I basically told them to go fucking pound salt. Huge domestic with UPS, and they end up refunding me a bunch of money. But I'm like, okay, yeah, it's all fine and dandy. I got these at a discount. Like, yeah, you're trying to jam me at the the regular price. I'm like, this is what I paid. I'm not paying this shit. This is what I paid. You can reflect your charges on this, not that. And like, you look at the recent post that happened there with the gentleman that ordered some real geese decoys, and UPS basically like drove over the box. Like, it's just a goddamn train wreck.
Yeah, I've the same thing you guys are talking about those fees and everything. I mean, I've had guys that were like, I'm not going to accept this. I mean, it's going to come back to you. Or I'm like, man, like I'm so sorry. I didn't know that personally at the beginning, but now everything is pretty smooth with Canada, shipping to Canada, no problem, fast, no fees. I
made an order once for panel blinds right from a certain company, and I called them and I was talking to them, made the order, and they tried to do me a solid and send them, but they tried to like put a really low price on them to ship them across the border so that I wouldn't get hit with as high taxes. And the border held them, and they said, can you get us a receipt for this product? Because it's definitely not worth what they've said. It's worth way more than that. They tried to say that each panel blind was 25 bucks and both of them together was 50. I was like, oh shit. So it turned into a whole fiasco. I truly appreciated it, but on the other hand, it just created such a hassle.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, when someone's telling you how much something's worth, it's like,
yeah. Like, I'm just glad my wife didn't find the receipt.
Right. To be honest, Kelley, we've got good waterfowling up here.
Yeah.
But trying to order shit is a whole different fiasco.
Yeah. Do you guys have good companies up there that you don't have to really go across the border, or is it like stores?
So Canadian waterfowl supplies.
There's a couple.
Yeah. There's few and far between is the problem. And of course our land mass is quite large. So they tend to be centralized. So if you're on the outskirts like me on one of the other coasts, you're kind of still paying the price for shipping, even though there's no brokerage or taxes, but it still can be pricey.
It's more expensive here because everything that is used here comes from the States, pretty much. So all these companies that are selling here are, even when you convert to dollar, it's still higher. It's still higher than what it was because they had to get it up here, right?
Right.
So,
someone's paying for it.
Yeah. So
and
you're not getting any super sweet deals like you can get on stuff down in the States. Not really, not very often.
The one thing I will say though is I've ordered from Pat Heinrichs before, and I was like, it'll be ready. It'll be here like for next weekend's hunt, and it'll be there like the next day. It'll be on your porch waiting. It's like, holy shit, how did that get here so quick? So that's kind of a benefit of going through them.
Canadian Waterfowl Supply is probably the premier dealer on this side of the border for us. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Pat runs a tight ship, and they got lots of quality selection and quality gear.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard of them.
Yeah. He's really good. But we are at the 1 hour mark, and Damien told me not to go over. So I don't want to fuck up too many things. I know he's not here, but listen,
he doesn't watch this.
Is he your daddy?
Yeah. No, but
wait, I didn't even get to tell you about my. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, Damien won't see us until Monday, so fuck him. even though he's still my favorite newfie.
Well, okay, I'll continue on, boys. No, but honestly, we should go because some people do only want to watch a 1 hour episode, and I understand that. So
Corey,
we'll just go around the table there. Mark.
Good talking to you again, Kelley. Great learning some more information about California. I don't know when I'll ever be able to make it down there. Apparently never, the way things are going. But, if we're ever down that way, I'll be looking you up, and you're always welcome up here, obviously.
Phil?
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Philly?
Yeah, again, Kelley, it was great to see you again. But yeah, it was great learning just, you know, how waterfowling operates down in California, and how different they are and diverse they are in comparison to things here in Ontario. And to keep up the great work, and hopefully Bird Dog continues to flourish. Keep it up.
Thank
Ryan?
you.
Yeah, man. Awesome to get you on here finally. We had to get through some technical difficulties, but glad we made it happen. And hope you have a great upcoming season. And if you ever want to swap some pintail hunting for some black duck hunting, let me know.
Right on. I need a black duck.
Kelley, sorry I cut you off there. I'm kind of new at this, but I'll let you have the last word there.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate the pleasure's all mine. I mean, you guys are such an awesome, great group of guys. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to hang out and, I mean, just shoot the crap with you for at least an hour. I mean, we got to talk, a couple of weeks ago and everything. And I was really looking forward to doing this, and hopefully we do it again sometime, here soon, later in the season or something. It's really great to meet all you guys. I mean, you guys are awesome, and awesome. I thank you so much. Yeah. So you can visit me. Our website is www.birddogwaterfowl.com, or find us on Instagram at Bird Dog Waterfowl.
Thanks, Kelley, for coming on, and that'd be great. Like, hopefully sometime mid-season, Damien's away again, so you'll come back on, and we'll chat again. Remember, everybody, surround yourself with good people. We'll talk to you.